So our it's overall agenda of the series. We divided the uh, whole series in the four session. The first would be the event management and the item health starting and what's the key term we are supposed to use. And this particular session speaker would be the Rohit. And the next session we will announce by end of the event. And that is something we go deeper down and learn about the event tool and the different type of CI binding that could be hosting, non-hosting sort of things. And the session three about the alert management and the correlation and remediation tasks of the event management. And the session four will be talking about the best practices. Yeah. So on today's plan, we divided is like we started with what and why event management, and what's the main purpose of ITOM health overall in ServiceNow. Then we introduce the key terms. Then we go by the out of the box flow. Then we have a small quiz, and we will in the small quiz is all about the event management, so basic event management stuff. Then so we also have the hands-on lab. For the hands-on lab, you one request is like please log into your community profile for that because it's required. And the last we will announce when we'll be hosting the next session in the next announcement. Okay. Yes. So Drew, uh, go ahead, man.
Okay, man. Let me know once my screen is
Yeah.
visible.
Yes. Let me. It is visible. It is visible to me, and I think yeah, perfect.
Hi, guys. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. So, Vivek has already introduced me, so I won't waste time in that thing. So, let's start. So, basically, the slide that you are seeing is ServiceNow item has three main pillars. Okay, first being the item visibility, that focuses on discovering your infrastructure and application, showing you the unified connected view of your IT network and services. Basically, it is discovery and service mapping that comes under item visibility. Second is item health, which helps you in tracking and maintaining the health of services in your organization and allows you to quickly identify and remediate the root cause of issues by leveraging platform features. So basically under item health we have event management and operational intelligence. Okay, so item visibility, discovery, service mapping, in which you just need to focus on discovering what you have, that is the visibility. Item health is, as the word suggests, event management and operational intelligence. And last but not the least is item optimization, which helps you in provisioning public and private cloud and give you an insight of the cloud infrastructure and helps you in keeping a check on cloud expenses. So basically it includes cloud management platform, CMP. Okay, so three pillars: item umbrella, visibility, health, optimization. Visibility, discovery, service mapping; health, event management, operational intelligence; and optimization, cloud management platform. And one thing that is coming in future releases, I'm not allowed to share that, so it would be 6 soon. Okay, so let's our today focus would be on event management, that is under item health. So let's first look at the challenges solved by event management. So here I have just put on the pointers, but let's discuss them one by one. Okay, so first being event consolidation. So this ServiceNow capability, event management, allows you to consolidate events. I mean, event as an, you can consider as a issue within your IT infrastructure, like some server is down, some memory issue is there, and it comes from various monitoring tools in a single platform. So it might be possible that a server is monitored by SCOM as well as SolarWinds or by some other tool. So all of them would generate event, and that would all would come into single platform, that is ServiceNow. Okay, and events are collected using baseline event connectors or using REST methods as well. Then events are configured. We'll go to the flow afterwards, but just to understand that event consolidation is one thing, that you consolidate whatever you are getting. Next comes the service impact management. So it is one of the major reasons why ServiceNow event management is so much popular and it's gaining so much attention, is because the legacy event management systems doesn't have the ability to monitor the impact of alerts. Okay, so how it is impacting your business services. ServiceNow event management can automatically bind alerts with CIs in the CMDB with service visibility like discovery and service mapping. We have business services and you can visualize these events against your application services. Okay, we'll discuss these terms in bit detail, but just to be give you why ServiceNow event management. So these are the pointers. And last one is alert driven task and service management. So basically what to do when you have something, right? You have something that you have the notification that something is down in the in our infrastructure, what needs to be done. So it's a alert driven task and service management, like creating tasks for alerts, like creating incident out of it. Someone is putting in the chat that if someone is speaking, am I audible?
Yes, yes, dude, you're audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so where were we? Yeah.
Let me chat. You go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm talking. I'm taking care of it. Okay.
Okay, so where were we? Alert driven task, right? So we can create incidents which is usually done manually in the legacy systems, or you can also do complex integration through which you can create in these incidents so that you can manage and rectify them as soon as they occur. Basically we have a alert management rule enable any task in ServiceNow, it may be incident, change, service request as well, to be automatically created for an alert meeting a specific condition. So it's like we create alert management rule based on the alert. Say I have a alert that memory is more than 80%, 80% more than 80% memory has been consumed. So it depends on me that if it is a critical server, I would want to create an incident of P2 or P3, P1, or I want to raise certain catalogs like maybe a change as well. So it's on us what we want to do. It's a normal flow that we need to modify, and this is the very strong part and very important key feature that the infrastructure people look into the solutions. So always remember when you are discussing this with client, keep these three pointers in focus. Okay, especially for the pre-sales people. Okay, so do we have one question? Okay, I can see a question. What is the difference between event and an alert? Okay, so think it let me go on the next slide. Okay, Arpit, that will make more sense. Okay, after that if you still have that question, we'll take up that, because I am pretty sure that uh, that someone is saying alert creates events. No, it's wrong, man. Rajendra. Okay, so let me go on the next slide and let's see. Okay, so this is the flow. So first, at the first level, event management collects event from monitor, okay, like SCOM and SolarWinds, and they store in the event management table. Okay, so if you see over here in the third tab, ServiceNow instance, there is one at the top, you have event management table. Okay, em underscore event. So these are the various sources through which you can get the events. It might be through mid server, through connector, direct integration, through REST API, whatever it is, you bring on everything in the event table. Okay, second, now what ServiceNow will do, ServiceNow will create an alert out of it. Okay, at the end if you see there's an alert table, will create an alert, but it passes through various stages. So basically we apply event rules, and these rules can do several things like map fields in the events. So basically which fields we want to see in the alert record, so that we can do, we can filter out that no, this is something informational and this is okay, we don't want to create incident or alert out of it. It's just an informational thing. Like we can check for thresholds, and we can bind certain CIs, and then we have, if you see, first step is the event rules. In that it filters out if the event is filtered out. If the event is not filtered out, like that we haven't configured that we don't want to process this event, so it will move to the next check, that is it checks for the threshold, whether it has reached the threshold. Like threshold is something like, say I have configured, like I am getting events for memory consumption. Okay, memory is a good example. Like 50% memory is consumed, 60% is consumed, so I have put on threshold. Whenever I get an alert more than 80% memory is consumed, then only move forward, otherwise suppress that thing, because it is information. So if it matches the threshold, okay, then it will apply the mapping rules, that we want to map certain fields. Okay, like we want to pick up certain values from description and all those things, or we want to map the values of, we majorly use mapping rules for mapping certain fields like severity. Suppose every tool has its own capability, its own way of mapping the severity. Like some do it by showing the color, like red is high critical, or yellow is medium, something like that. So we need to map those things, and that thing we do through mapping rules. So in the lab that we will be doing, we would be creating a event, and we would be creating event rules to do the few of the things, not all, but we would be doing few of the things. And in the next session that has been planned, that Ashutosh should be taking up, in that he will do deep dives in event rule. Okay, so for the time being we are starting, so consider it as like this: we get everything in the event table, whether it's useful or not. We'll bring all the records in the event table, then we'll apply event rules or mapping rules, and those would be converted to alerts. Okay, once alerts are created, alerts are nothing but the events that are important, those are converted to alerts. So event is a staging table, you can say as a staging table, where you want to collect every data, and alert is very specific, that needs your attention. Okay, so once we have alert, then we create alert management rule to understand what basically we want to do. Like we want to create an incident, or we want to trigger notification, change, whatever we want to do, or run certain workflows or certain scripts, that we do once we have the alert created. And obviously we do certain correlation and stuffs at the alert level, but that is a kind of a deep dive thing. So for the understanding, be sure to understand that everything that will come in events table. Will apply event rules, those events would be converted to alerts, only the useful ones obviously, and they are known as alerts. They goes under em underscore alert table, and on alert table will have the alert management rule that will create an incident or whatever, in basically the flow in which we want that to be handled, that particular alert needs to be handled. Okay, so someone has asked me about event or alert. Is that clear, or is still a confusion?
So Arpit, is it clear? Arpit was asking. Let's take it as a clear.
Okay, so basically last step is finally event management uses alert management to perform actions to remediate the issues by creating an incident, remediating a workflow. I'm just reiterating, I can show that in the system as well to you. Okay, so let me get into the system and show you some of the things. It was not planned, but I think it's important to show you those things in the system. Don't worry, it's my instance never sleeps, so hopefully it's up. And before this, thank god I remember the password. So let you know. So everything comes under this events table. Okay, so we have done nothing over here today. So wow, everything is cleared, but everything will be dropped in over here, and then you have alerts, all alerts, events are cleared after a certain 7 days or something, and alerts will stay for around 3 weeks, I guess. So there are certain alerts. These have been created from some events, and after
You are
that,
seeing the presentation, not the system.
hmm?
I think you are
Yes.
projecting
Yeah,
the.
sorry, your system, yeah, the
Okay.
sharing grew.
Yeah, I was sharing, but let me
Yeah,
reshare that thing.
yeah, just reshare, reshare.
I might have shared the PPT only. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me know once it's visible. Okay. Can you see the instance now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's visible now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything comes under this em underscore event table. Currently, we don't have anything over here. So you would be working on this. You would be creating events in the lab, and once you then you create event rules. So we are going step by step. Everything will come over here. Then we'll create a event rule that how we want to process that. I'll show you one of the things that you would be creating. It's a bit slow, man. I don't know what exactly. Okay, so let me change the domain. FSO, I don't know who is we. Someone is working on this. So, okay, so let me show you what you would be creating today. So I don't know. This is through dot. I've been playing. So this is one of the event rules. Basically, I'll give you a brief what how exactly it looks and what you need to configure. The lab might be different than this. So let it load. Let it load. I need to rebuild. Actually, by instance is pretty heavy. It has become slow, and I have to take some backup before I can release this instance. Okay, it has 5 tabs over here. Event rule info, basically you provide the basic info, and this one is pretty important. This needs to be correct. This is your first check, that from which source we are getting the event. Then at the filter level you put on that what should be the condition that this event rule should be applied. So basically when event comes in your queue, they are processed against these event rules, and only one rule is applied. Okay, so as soon as it finds a match, that rule would be applied and everything would be ignored. Only one rule will run against one event. Okay, so it's very important to set the condition and the order, this order field, correct, so that you know that your rule is getting applied. So you can put on the condition like this. Then third tab is the how you want to convert alert fields. Okay, so the on the right side, this description is of alert, this resource is of alert thing, and these fields are from the your what we call event table. Okay, so I can drag and drop these things somewhere like this. If I want to put on some regex, I can just select these things and set them as a variable, say test, and once I click on done, this test would be available here. I can drag and drop somewhere here. This thing you would be doing in the lab, so I'm just giving you a overview. Then next tab is the threshold. To set the threshold, there you need to set this active. Then you have these things, that how see, these are the operator, that this thing is greater than, you need to select the field name, that percentage is greater than 80 occurs. I get one, I would be happy if I get one event that says that your threshold value is greater than 80, percentage is greater than 80 within 2 minutes. I mean over 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 120 seconds is 2 minutes. I can set it like this, 3 4 23. So it would be like I should get 23 events saying that your threshold value is greater than 80, I mean the percentage is greater than 80 during this thing, 2 minutes time. And last one is the binding thing. This is one of the critical. So if you want to so basically how it works, it's search for the CI based on your node field, and it searches for the CI name, FQDN, IP or MAC address for hardware related thing. So all the tables that are extending hardware, okay, those would be automatically
Sorry
set.
to interrupt you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Actually, in threshold field, can you go back?
Mhm.
In threshold. Yeah, actually that occurs is 23. What about 120 second? In 120 seconds, 23 event will be generated
Exactly.
or what?
It would be that I should get at least 23 events in 2 minutes, which
Okay.
says that your percentage is more than 80, like your memory consumption is more than 80. We usually set it to 1 or 2. I just typed 23, so I said it as 23, but it's similar to something 2 or 3 or something like that. And then you have close operator, like it's idle for like how much second. I didn't get anything, so it will close the alert. Okay.
Dhruv, I have
Uh,
one follow-up question for the same thing. Suppose I have kept it as a two, and my like as per my understanding, right now you are explaining that this is like the number of events you want for this particular rule, like kind of the process capacity, if I'm not wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
at in 120 second, this rule will be processing two occurrence only for that condition, right?
It would be if I get two occurrences that says that I have consumed more than 80% in a time span of 2 minutes, then it would be processed further until this is less than 2. It wouldn't be processed forward.
Oh, so like this is the max value, or this is like
Minimum.
equal value?
It's threshold, right?
Minimum.
Threshold is
Oh,
minimum.
okay.
If it is
Oh,
memory is getting consumed, so if memory is more than 80%, the reason being because at the monitoring tool level also you have certain automation that automatically clears up the memory as soon as it gets more than 80%. Okay, so if I create a alert out of it automatically, then that won't make any sense, right? So if I'm getting two that thing hasn't triggered, then I should notify the team. So that is the whole concept. Okay.
oh,
Then we are at the binding. So usually we bind to the hardware table, but we need to bind, sometimes we need to do this application binding and all those things. So we need to click on override binding, and then we need to select which type of binding we want to do, field matching or identification. Then we select a class, maybe application or something. Then this would be discussed in, I guess, second session only, so it's one of the critical topic. We'll do deep dive in this, but just to give an idea that first we'll have all the events, then event rules would be applied, then field mapping rules would be applied. So field mapping, see if I have any field mapping rules in the system. So these some of the out of the box are like, so let's try this
అంటే
thing.
అట్లయితే లేదు మరి ఇది రెండు యాప్లు
Guys, please mute yourself.
Yeah, go ahead, I muted it.
Okay, so if you see, this is something set for Hyperic tool. So from field priority we want to set our severity. So to field is our field. Okay, so basically that tool might want to send, they don't have severity field, but they consider severity through the name of priority. So you must get the events that have priority as a variable, and if priority is 1, it means our severity is 4. So whenever we get a priority of 1, it will create an alert with a severity 4. Okay, so these kind of things are applied on the event level. So event rules and field mapping rules, then we have alerts. Okay, all events doesn't gets converted to alerts, they are also mapped under same alert. So alert is a group as well. So basically alert, you can say the events are that are important that we want to process, but we group them as well. Like for the same thing we might get we need to treat like server is down, so it will keep on sending these events, like server A is down, server A is down, server A is down every time. So we don't want to create multiple incidents, so it automatically groups them. So there are various grouping and correlation thing, various types of correlation. So that is one of the trickiest topics. So for that I am trying to bring someone from ServiceNow to explain that in a much better way. But for the time being, consider alert as a event that you want to process, and that is important for you. So these fields, you will see this fields in the lab as well, so we would be doing this thing in the lab as well. So let me quickly complete the deck, then we'll go for the labs, so that will make more sense. So just revising, we get everything in the event table, apply event rules, or field mapping rules, those are converted to alert. Then at the alert level we have alert management rules. So let me see if I have any example for alert management rule. I'll give you the definition of all of them. So let me see if I have. Yeah, I have. So this I can't. Okay, let me see. So this one has 3 tabs. One is this info, and this field is pretty important. We'll deep dive in these things, but it says whether you want to search for additional rules or stop searching for additional rules. So event rules, we apply only one event rule per event, but here we can have multiple alert rules running on that. And second is the filter, obviously, and under action tab you can run some subflows, workflows, or if you want to launch some applications. So these are the things that you can do through alert management tool. Okay, so we'll do deep dives in this, so you don't need to worry about that. So let's look at these few terms. Okay, so if you want to take a note of these things from interview perspective or from learning perspective, so I'll read the definition of each one of them one by one, and I might be wrong because that might be my understanding or my learning, but let's see. So first one is event are notification from customer infrastructure. Notification means notable occurrence as well, like various examples: server is down, memory, bandwidth, that you are crossing the event, something like that. And what is an alert? An alert is generated by event management for selected events considered to be important and require attention. So the words that are you need to pay attention to are considered to be important and require attention. Okay, next one is event rules. Basically filter and transform and perform the processing logic to either promote an event to an alert or altogether ignore an event. Okay, ignore an event, that is because of threshold. And one more thing that you should be aware of, that how to ignore an event through event rule. Okay, so if we go on the event rules, let's see what is there in Drove test. We open that thing only. So just pay attention over there. These 3 tabs are available right now, but if I check on this thing, these 3 tabs won't make any sense. It will work as a negative thing, that if description starts with this event would be automatically ignored. And remember, out of the box, unless you have a ignore event, each event would be converted to an alert. Okay, so you need to have ignore events with each source. Okay, so this is how you put on the ignore thing, that once you are ignoring that, these things won't make any sense. So this is one of the things. And what's the next one? Alert management rule. Okay, these are the options for an alert to trigger related records, like creating a knowledge article, creating a subflow, or whatever you want to do with that alert. Okay,
Your screen is not. Yeah.
is it visible now?
It's just the slide. You're showing your PDI.
I'm showing the PPT.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, so next one is correlation and connector definition and connector instances. So correlation is nothing but it is the advanced topic of alert, in which you decide which one is going to be the primary alert and which one is going to be the secondary alert. So concept behind is there could be multiple alerts generated for different CIs, but somehow they are bind, right? If CI is down, its database would also be down. So you need to club them, that you don't want to see 7 events for same issue. So this is how you club them. These are called as correlation rule. We will go in future sessions into this. And next comes the connector definition and connector instances. So this is very important. So all the out of the box stuffs runs on this. So connector definition is the connectors that ServiceNow provides out of the box. So these are the things. Okay, for example, we have for SCOM. Okay, so it's a field connector definition that ServiceNow has provided. And if in my environment I want to set up a SCOM as a source, that I want to fetch events from SCOM, so what I'll do, I'll go on connector instance, I'll create new, and here I'll select the connector definition and provide the required info. Okay, so this is something like connector definition is a class and connector instance is a object, that is the instance of that class. Okay, here you will specify the IP and credential that is specific to your instance, but all the configuration would be used out of the box. Okay, so someone has to mute himself, I guess. Let me. Okay, Anand was there. Okay, fine then. I think I am done with that for today. Let me go back onto the things that we would be doing over here, previous session. So this Vivek has already discussed this thing, so I'll just quickly touch on that thing. So this one we have already done, so this thing would be taken up by Ashutosh. He's also an MVP. So in this the event rules that complete 5 tabs, will be doing deep dives into those things. Okay, so that would be an important session, and that we are planning to be done on 10th. Okay, most probably on 10th, reason being Ashutosh is traveling, so 10th would be an easier for us. Then third one is the correlation with live examples and or alert management thing, so that would be done by someone from ServiceNow. We are seeing who can deliver it in the best manner. And last one would be very important, the best practices and all those things. So in case if you want, myself and Ashutosh have given a session on event management, key pointers and key considerations, so you can watch that thing. Okay, in that you can get few of the best practices. It was a breakout session, but majorly this one will be pretty heavy. I mean, it would be important for the people in the consultant role. Okay, requirement gathering and all those things. Okay, so we are still in a tussle who would be giving this. Myself and Ashutosh are fighting over this, that I want to do this, or he's saying that I want to do this. So this is the plan, and now I'll hand over to Vivek. So Vivek, your shot. Let's do the quiz, and then we can go for the Q&A and labs. Okay, I hope you guys have logged into your community thing.
Yeah, let me introduce the Archer first. Okay. So yeah, so our another trainer who will be handling our hands-on lab is Archer. Archer has also 5+ year experience, and she is also a developer, and she's co-organizer of the ServiceNow Mavic too, and she's quite passionate about the crafting and the traveling and all that. So Achal, may I share the quiz link to the guys?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead. I'm just pasting the quiz link over the chat, and yeah, and the time would be the around the let's take a 3 minute. That's fine. That's fine, guys.
Yeah.
Silence is always yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, after this we would be doing lab as well. Okay, so make sure that you do the lab. That would be important to provide you with the clarity.
Sorry, for lab sessions we need to log into ServiceNow community or developer instance.
First you need to log into community. There would be certain files that you need to download, but you need to log into your PDI. You would be doing that on your PDI.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So the quiz link is already shared. Please guys, go ahead, and we'll start my time in 30 seconds. Okay.
So Achal, anything specific that we should be aware about quiz or anything?
Nothing specific for the quiz. Let's just finish the quiz first and then we'll move on to the lab session. The link is already in the chat. So
Okay.
Hello, Dhruv.
Yeah.
Dhruv, hi, this is Ashish here. Just want to check, a couple of things in terms of, training content, or in terms of future events. So, is there any plan to conduct session in conjunction with, service mapping? I mean, and event management.
Yeah, we are planning for that. So for ITOM, we started with event management because these things we
Mm-hmm.
can do without infrastructure support. Okay,
Right.
but for service mapping, we would require some infra support. So what we are planning is ServiceNow is planning to move. It's just with a safe harbor notice, but they're planning to move the service mapping fundamentals to Now Learning for free of cost and a simulator over there. Okay, basically a simulator. So what we are planning is we will do the training, we will have the sessions, and we'll solve the simulator simultaneously as a lab. So we are just waiting for them to
Yeah. Well,
shoot those.
that's all the question because I think in your session 4 you mentioned about the the consultant role and the account gathering. So event management, whenever we talk to any customer, they don't specifically go for the event management. They go they go for the suite completely, right? And then they go for the discovery, service mapping, and even management part,
Yeah, so
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the fourth session is specifically for event management requirement gathering, right?
Uh,
You won't be implementing them in one shot, right? You won't be gathering the
I
requirements
understand.
for.
But okay, so there's a plan, right, in future to
That's the
conduct that
plan.
kind of session.
That's the plan. But plans are
Sure.
always there.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So time is done, right? Or is we're still waiting for?
how much time is left, Vivek, for the quiz? Could you
It's now 3 seconds. It's done.
Close the form, man. We won't be accepting any responses now.
Yeah, it's
But
done.
Guru, the quiz was having some advanced question also, which are not covered in the session.
Just give it a guess, no? So if I
Yeah.
give it all easy questions, then
But then our chances of getting the goodies will be decreased, no?
but then everyone will not be able to answer.
Yeah, but it was nice. Most of the questions were relevant, which Dhruv has actually explained, and we were able to answer it.
that is good. But
Yeah, I think one of the question is like what is used to avoid duplication, right? It's not deduplication.
you will avoid duplication, right? You won't apply it.
Yeah, this you have not explained, Dhruv. If you can explain it.
I haven't seen the
I think
questions.
it's duplication. Deduplication is like single copy only, right?
Avoid duplication and deduplication is one thing, right? Avoiding duplication is deduplication, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what?
Dhruv, just one question is there for me. It is not at all regarding to the quiz. Can you tell me in an event management what is the scope of scripting here? Is there a lot of scripting involved in this? Because I am actually an ITSM guy. I am a complete zero knowledge of ITOM, what ITOM is and how ITOM works. So just want to know that how much is scripting involved in this?
So scripting out for implementing out of box, you don't require scripting. So scripting comes into picture at alert management rule where you will create flows. Okay. So in those you might need to script some of the things like parsing some of the parameters, some of the values. That is one thing, and the connection for setting up the connectors as well. Like if there is a connector that is not provided by ServiceNow, but there is a tool requirement, so either you can go for event API consumption, but if the tool is not able to consume API, then you need to write the codes. Or the other aspect is when ServiceNow that tool is not able to send the events to through cloud. Okay, so it will send the events to mid server, then you need to have a listener or transform map script that you need to code, but not much. I mean, I have hardly coded anything. I mean, some part, but not that much.
Oh,
And regarding the duplication, so Vivek, what's the answer? I haven't seen the question or the things.
Yeah, it's about the message key to identify the each event. Uniquely.
Message
That's
key
the
I haven't touched, so I'll just quickly show
Yeah.
you that thing. Okay. So basically, there is one parameter called message key that will be unique, and that will be used to bind the events. So for example, if I am getting events with same message key, they would be bind under one alert, so that would be covered in alert correlation part, not alert correlation, event consolidation. So that is one thing. So I can show you the field. This message key is this one, and at alert level you will see this in the lab as well, so just go with the lab and that would be clear. So this is the okay, this is our actual part. I'm not going to interrupt her.
Thank you. So I'll start with the lab. Meanwhile, Vivek can sort out the answers in second. I'll just share my
Yeah.
lab. Hope everyone has logged in to their instances. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Can you see the lab guide?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, as you all know, you need to log in and install the event management plugin. And
Achal, you are sharing your PPT deck, not the document.
I'll just share again, and let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, you can.
So this is the lab guide document that we have prepared. We need to start by logging in into the by this name it goes SNEMAI. You need to install it, and then you can move forward to importing the event and following the steps basically. Importing the record, then creating the event rule, and then we need to test it. How is it running? So it's a pretty quick lab, and you guys can start doing it. I will drop in the links to the community, and this containing all the other attachments that you need to download. The attachments present here that you need to download for the lab guide, as well as the XML file for the event rules that you need to upload while creating the event. So I hope you guys can start now, and let us know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Achal. So basically, you need to go to your community, that article link, and download the files, required files. Basically, you would be requiring the XML file and the event XML and the lab guide, obviously. The third file is the PPT of the session, but it's in a PDF format. So in case if you want to refer, but there was nothing in the PDF PPT as such, but I have put on that thing. And if you find this thing helpful, just mark it as helpful, or for your future reference, just bookmark it, so that tomorrow if you want to redo these labs and all those things, you would be able to find the link as soon as possible. And what else? Yeah, in the lab, as Achal mentioned, you would be performing certain steps. You would be enabling the plugin, you would be bringing this XML to event table, you would be seeing what exactly is happening out of the box, that how alert is being created. Then in the second step we are creating an event rule. What we are doing in the event rule, we are just trying to modify the description or the short description, one of the fields, by capturing some of the things from the that transform thing that I showed you, that drag and drop thing, and we are reprocessing that event to see whether the alert the event rule is getting attached or not. First thing. Second thing, the description is coming as required or not. So that's what you are going to do. Okay, in the meantime, you can just Vivek is preparing the result, so in that time we can go for Q&A. If you have any questions, just shoot. And if you
Ajay, can you confirm the plugin name? Actually, I'm not able to find anything with SN underscore.
that's the idea of the plugin. So if you can share your screen, just come up, let's see. I might be wrong, but that's totally on test. Okay.
Whom do you want to share the screen to?
Actually,
I think
who's
I think it's
Akansha.
for me. Yeah.
okay? I'll show you the plugin. Okay, so let me be on my instance. Let me figure that out. I might have plugins. Actually, I'm on Cubic release, so it might be a pointer that they might have clubbed some of the plugins. But if you're on Polaris, just search for event management. It should be there. Okay, let me show you that thing. Yeah. So, Cubic. I need to clear this mess. Okay. Event management. This one is which one I have installed. See, this is the ID. So if you want the name, it's event management core.
Yeah. Thanks, Suru.
So in the Achal, can you confirm that in the document we have put on this thing only?
Yes, yes.
Same only.
Same only. Okay. Perfect. Then what else we have? Achal is on this. Any questions, guys? I have created one slide, so we should have.
Files uploaded that in the community. I can't see any link for download this PPTs or lab guide or anything.
Is it? How is that possible? If you go on the article, you need to log in, and here you see these 3 attachments. Click on this. See, I can download.
Bro, I have a question to you, bro.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. So the thing is, like, let's say, for a customer, you are implementing event management, and let's say consider they have, multiple event management tools like, name it SolarWinds, Storm, or, Neggings. And they are available as a connector in ServiceNow. So when you are implementing, even for one event collector, let's say SolarWinds, okay. So you do the required configuration, and the event rules that you are talking about, should we configure each and every event rule according to that, or it is available out of the box for that particular tool? Let's say for SolarWinds,
I got your
we
question.
had to configure.
It's like some rules are out of the box, but in my experience, I have never used them. So because these are the things that depends on customer to customer. Okay, so we have to create event rules specifically for each tool separately. Sometimes we can use what is provided out of the box, but I have literally seen I don't know, I haven't used them much, but might be they are useful, but you need to create that thing. And so what practice I follow is, when I set up the connector, I usually set up it on Friday, and I kept it for running for Saturdays and Sundays, and in the Monday morning I'll just go on the call and open the events table, that all the events that I have received, group them by type, and show them that these are the types of events that we are getting. I just give them the Excel and the access in the dev environments and ask them how you want to process each one of them. So this is how you should go. I mean, this is the principle that I've been following and is working for me. So you can use the same.
In event management, is there anything beyond this apart from configuring and managing events? Is there any scope beyond this?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, event is just one part. Then you have alerts. Then at alert level, you can do whatever you want to do. Like you want to create an incident, you want to create a
and convert into incidents or something. But apart from that, sticking not to event life cycle. Let's say event got created, alert got created, and incident got created. Completing this life cycle. Apart from this, is there any scope for event management, or is this the only scope for that?
No. Creating incident is one of the remediation parts. So the bringing event is one aspect, converting it to alert is another aspect, and then the third part is this correlation and grouping the alerts so that you reduce the number of incidents. Okay, other than incidents, there have been projects in which I have written PowerShell scripts to automatically close those alerts. Okay, I mean, if the server is memory is more than 80%, so I have written PowerShell scripts to clean up the temp file or clean up the some of the memories or older stuffs. That comes as the advanced
remediation you're talking about.
Remediation part, alert management tool.
Okay, so is it done on the event management itself, or it comes under
event management,
the orchestration?
No, you need orchestration for that, but the things that you are doing are configured under alert management rule, where you create subflows or flows, and I mean subflows or workflows or something like that, and in those you trigger those flows. Okay, so
got it. Yeah,
in that flow it could be anything, right? Creating incident is one.
Okay, so those flows are based out of the orchestration, correct?
Yeah. I mean, you can do whatever you can you want to do. Basically, with Flow Designer, you can do anything, right? Creating incident to destroying server, right? You can literally shut down a server. Okay, so everything you can do is just the alert management tool is the mapping what you want to do. That's it.
Okay.
Hi, Dhruv.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Dhruv?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and
clear. Event management plugin we can install where we upgrade the instance. There is the option for activate plugin in the install options, right? Developer.servicenode.com.
Plugin.
Where we
you can do from there as well, but I recommend to do it from here because
actually from here, Dhruv, it was not visible. Even we tried keeping writing that name, so only two plugins are visible.
So just check your instance. Is it Cubic or something different?
Mine is Cubic. 1 second.
Few plugins are available from the instance only.
Yeah, you can do it from developer.servicenode.com as well.
This will install all the dependencies.
Actually.
Exactly. This one will install few more plugins. Actually, one only. Other than this, if I show you this thing, so.
But there are some dependencies within the plugins, right?
Yeah, definitely. So it installs 1 or 2 plugins as well. I don't remember the name, but it installs 1 or 2 more plugins. So just search for event management. It will do that thing. In case you are not able to do that, just ping me afterwards. I'll create a user out for you in this event instance, and then you can give it a shot. Okay.
Yeah, that option actually is not coming up, Dhruv.
Is it?
To install the plugin.
Maybe that is because of the version, because I am in a Paris and I am also not able to see this.
Just try on Cubic if you have Cubic, because I designed this lab on Cubic release. So just give it a shot on Cubic.
Yeah, in Cubic it is available. I am able to install.
In Paris.
So if you're on Paris, try this name. Yeah.
It should be different.
I just
itom.snc.
Yeah.
It should be
On the
item
parrot, it should be visible by this name.
item.snac. So this is one of the plugins that gets installed as a dependency in
Glide app. Yeah. I just ping you over the message. But it's you're on the Quebec, no?
yeah, that's what I stopped trying.
So I pinged over the message. You can try this one. It should be visible in the Paris. So Drew, we have winner, and should we announce?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So
You guys stats.do.
sorry.
Starts.do to see the version, right? This one, right?
Yeah.
You want to show this thing.
I'm sharing my screen. So we have 3 winner, and here's a name. And surprisingly, 3 offer the same score.
Same score.
Yeah, it's just a 10 out of 10 question, so it must be. So
Great, guys.
Congrats, guys.
Just put on your details in the Telegram. I know I was not able to send the goodies for the last event, but it's a pandemic and all those things, so I'll send them for sure. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not missing that one. Thank you.
Dhruv, can you share the link of Telegram?
Links I think I have shared with Devashish, and also in the article you have everything. Okay, so go on the article, you have all the links.
Vivek, can we see the answers for the quiz?
No.
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 What we need to no, like what are the correct answers for that quiz? That's what.
Definitely. I will comment it out over the community
Yeah.
article. That's a business idea. That's reach the community article. Okay. Okay. I will do it right away.
Okay, guys. Any other questions or anything? Any feedback?
Hey,
or-
Dhruv.
Yeah.
I had a question. This is Western here. See,
Yeah, it is
right
a
now,
great session. Yeah, true. It is great session. One more session. I think we need more session for this, for event and discovery and event mapping also. We're expecting that that sessions also mostly possible to in future also.
Next session, Shekhar, is gonna be very important. Don't miss that, because Ashutosh is gonna
Sure.
teach. He's the ITOM community leader at the moment. So
Yeah, I know.
he would be a great thing. Yeah, Isan, go ahead.
yeah, Dhruv. So the question is like, see, in my current organization also, while we try to float event management, the thought process was that now is the age of AI ops, where the tool is able to correlate event or alerts or events automatically, like something that maybe is equivalent to predictive intelligence on our side. So do you see that happening here as well? I have not worked on event management on ServiceNow, but
It is
like
there.
when we talk about AI ops tool, okay, so it's able to learn.
Yes,
Right.
it has one of the alert correlation and grouping method known as machine learning. So it is there as a feature, but to set up that, you first need to have event management setup. Okay, so I mean, once you are getting all the events in your system, then it's a machine learning job that runs. I can show you the properties and how it runs. So we have implemented that. Okay, so let me correlate alert no event management. It should be under properties somewhere. Let me search. Actually, this properties. Matrix to CI. This anomaly is another thing, so you can pick up that thing as well. I don't know where it is. These are the pattern identifiers. Basically, this pattern is another part of the AI thing. So I don't know where is the properties part. Let me search.
Drew, scroll down. It should be the bottom. Even management.
It's in these.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm currently working, so I know.
Yeah, well, No, not this one. They have some correlation separate properties that should be under alert properties or something. It's here, alert correlation properties. So if you see this automated and where is that? I don't remember, man. But there is machine learning that I have explored. We call it RCA or
But
something.
Got it. But you've implemented and you feel it's effective, right? Like
yeah, it's pretty effective.
Good.
It basically depends on these patterns and all. Okay, so these are the things.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
It's useful.
I'll look into it. Thanks.
Hey guys, if you are seeing the article, please at least mark as helpful. Yeah, that's cheating. Oh, nice. Thanks. Okay, any other question?
Hi Dhruv, could you please resend those links? I just load the connection and there's nothing in my chat.
Which links?
These links.
These.
That's for community.
Community link?
Yeah, for the bootcamp.
Okay. Under this community link, you have everything. Okay. This Meetup and Telegram, all links are there. But for the community, I am just pushing this thing up here. Okay. So just open this article, and in this article you have all the links for Mavericks, and the attachments are over here. Okay, fine. And recording would be on this YouTube channel. Okay, so just have a check on this thing as well, in case you miss or if you want to share it. So I'll try to put the recording by tomorrow if it is recorded properly, but I can't guarantee that. Okay guys, any other questions, or should we close this thing up and set you to enjoy your Saturdays?
I think we're good. Let's guys complete their lab and comment over the particular community article. We will try to reply there also.
Yeah. So in case if you have
Sounds
any
good though,
question, if you have anything,
Sorry. Yeah. Hi Dhruv. This is Pratyusha. So I was trying to install the plugin and it was kind of stuck at 95%. Do you think it will take long?
It takes time. It takes time,
Gotcha.
especially
it takes time.
Okay, I was just wondering if I did something wrong. Thank you.
No worries. Okay guys, in case if you face any issue or this, just put on the comments. We'll keep on monitoring this and we'll reply on that, but just let us know if there is anything. Okay, and if we'll wait for next 2-3 more minutes. If you have any questions, then shoot, otherwise we'll close the call. Okay.
Dhruv, you will be including this thing, like if someone get the project of event management and they need to start, like for the requirement gathering, all that. So then what kind of questions we should ask, and is there something like the document which we can use as a kickoff deck or something like that? This you will be introducing?
We would be covering that in depth in the final session, but if you have a project coming in next few weeks, then there is one site called Now Create. You can find all the kickoff PPTs and all over there. If you want, I can show you that.
Okay, no, I'm aware about it, so I was not sure whether we'll have a PPT for this topic or not, but yeah, definitely. Thank you.
We do have.
Dhruv, need one information. So I have a project going on which is just started, and we have the workshops going on. So obviously from Now Create we have taken the process workshops stack, but I'm looking for some kind of presentation on the reporting, mainly on service level reporting. Is it possible to help with some link where I can find some information on that?
There is what we have done is there is one dashboard plugin for event management specific. Okay, so if you search for that, you will find that. So it contains all the reports. No one asked for any other report, so that dashboard is pretty good.
Okay, event management dashboard.
Yeah, it's
Is it
something.
correct?
Yeah, it should be named something like that only, but it's good. It has all the reports. You don't need to create any.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll check on that. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Dhruv.
Hi.
So actually, I mean, this is the first session, right? So we are having 3 more sessions. So where can we find link for that sessions?
On the community article there is one link for meetup group. Okay, so we use this meetup thing to organize our events. So if you follow this group you will find all the notifications. So this is our group, we have more than 1200 members, so we post every event over here, so you can find everything over here. So everything is
Okay,
in
great.
this article. Okay, so it's not like we are
Yeah,
announcing it
thank
one to one, but it would be here itself.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
No problem. So Devashish has put on the YouTube meetup and Telegram link. In case if you are not willing to go on the article and mark it as helpful, you can use the chat. Okay guys, anything else? But before closing, this is our team, Mavericks team. So I'll introduce them. So they're pretty good people. Okay, Achal, the girl who organized the lab. Ashutosh is community leader. This is me. This is Devashish. I think he's in Fidelity. Fidelity, right? Kopal, she's a known name in the HR and financial space. Pankaj is in IBM. Pranav is in Nike. He's also a MVP. Vikalp is in Accenture, and Vivek is in Nagaro. So it's a team of 9 people. We organize events. So in case if you have any queries and if you don't find me replying, you can just ping your queries or anything to them. Okay, so that would be good. Okay. Any more questions? Or people are still joining. I don't know what they want to, why they are joining now.
Yeah, I just admitting the people. So I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just a bit late. Yeah,
just late.
Yeah, this is Nanganai.
Sorry?
I just now joined. I missed this event actually, but I just want to confirm at least the YouTube you are going to upload it, right? And you are is this like 4 events in total for this event management?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, there would be
Yes.
4 events.
Yes.
Sorry, it would be a continuation, right, for this? Like whatever you have and all, follow that, and we can move on with the second session.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be in step by step thing
Yes.
only. So
Thank you very much.
no worries. So any last questions, or we should say tata bye bye?
Yeah, Dhruv, this is Rajendra. So I have one question. Like currently we have SolarWinds environment. Like we have mapped our devices, all hardware, the VMs to SolarWinds. So whenever like CPU, like resource utilization, like CPU, memory, or disk space, we get the alerts to our mails. Okay, so based on the like, it will monitor like for 5 minutes the SolarWinds agent, solar agent. So after that, what it will do is like after 5 minutes on that space, if the disk space is still less, like if it comes down below the threshold, it will stop sending the alerts. Like it will send one like green alert saying that
that would be the closing alert. Okay.
Yeah,
So
closing alerts. Yeah.
in SolarWinds,
Now, how does? Yeah, go ahead.
okay, so in SolarWinds, how it will happen is, suppose event has come and it has created a alert or incident, whatever it has created. Okay, you need to define the message key. We don't get message key out of the box from SolarWinds. Okay, so SolarWinds doesn't have any field called message key. So in event rules, you need to set this a message key. So whenever you are closing, event will come. What it will do, it will close the alert, and it will also close the associated incidents automatically. So you need not to worry. So this is what we have been doing in our project, that SolarWinds is creating events. We have put on certain parameters in the description itself, that is the alert name and the CI. So what we are doing as a message key is alert name on CI. This combination we are using as a unique parameter. Okay, and whenever we have events coming, they are all clubbed under one alert, and as soon as we get a closing, that is the green alert from your side, green event from your side, it closes the alert and resolve the incident. So it's not like that, it's a fully automated process automatically. So
Okay, thanks. That was my question.
yeah. So there are properties, what you want to do, whether you want to close these things automatically, or whenever the alert is reopened, what you want to do, whether create a new incident or reopen an incident. Always try to set it to create a new incident, because reopening an incident might impact the SLA and all other things. So
Yes, yes.
that's one thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay guys, what else? Anyone completed the lab? Any issues in that, or we're good? Vivek, silence is a yes.
It's good.
As
Can end the
well.
session.
Golden rule. So should we close?
Yeah. I think people are. I can see that no longer has access to this chat messages, so I think we can
Okay.
sign off for today. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you so much, and please comment your queries over the community article. We will try to reply as soon as possible. Okay. And
Sure.
anything regarding the queries, just about the event management. Someone is accessing your your screen. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you Mavic team. Thank you guys for joining. Okay. Drew, see you again.
Bye man.
Bye.